We'll be starting in a few minutes. Please be patient. I request everyone to be seated in the front rows and occupy the front row slots. Everyone, please. Good evening, everyone. I'm Persian, and we are secretaries at Communiqué at IIT Kharagpur. We warmly welcome you all to the final day of our CDC internship year. Today, we'll be targeting the much needed finance profile. With CDC internships coming up, this session will help us get clarity on preparation strategies and profile roadmaps and much more. And we hope that this interaction turns out to be fruitful for a lot of students. We'll be having a live Q&A session towards the end of the discussion. In case you have any queries, kindly note them down and we'll address them in the Q&A session. So do stay till the end and get all your queries solved. For today's discussion, we have a great set of panelists who have had internships at some top-notch companies. Heartiest congratulations to both the panelists. We are looking forward to learning a lot from you.
I would now like to introduce everyone to today's panelists. We have Kush Sharma, who has secured an internship at Manila. Kush, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Kush Sharma. I'm a fourth year undergraduate student from economics. and I secured an internship in November in the global markets division. That's all.
Thank you, Kush. Our second panelist for the discussion is Subhadra Jana, who has secured an internship at Deutsche Bank. Subhadra, would you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Subhadra Jana. I'm a fourth year undergraduate student from the Department of Geology and Geophysics. I have secured a summer internship at Deutsche Bank.
On that note, we will now start with the panel discussion. But if you could start us off with the first question.
Yeah, sure, dear. So moving on to the first question. What are the essential skills for a good finance profile? Kush, would you like to begin?
I think before diving into finance profile, you need to understand that at the very outset, you're not supposed to be in finance in the first place. Finances, as a stereotype says, it's a commerce field. There are people out there who've done 4, 5, 6 years of accounts in finance, and they need to understand that for core finance, that is your target competition group. Basically, लोग थोड़ा सा पढ़े थे finance उसके बाद they are more towards like one part of it. So whenever you're preparing, you have to keep in mind what the dean, the SRCC, the Madras College people are doing. That's what you have to keep in mind. So with that in mind, with the basics, first you have to know what equities are. First get a concept right. First get a concept right about what basic finance jargon is and how these things operate. For a lot of people, this might seem daunting, and it's a shift in the curriculum which you have been used to. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, I think apart from the basic financial knowledge, which Kush very rightly mentioned, you are competing with people who have their major in finance. So apart from that, what sets you apart is your good analytical and mathematical skills. So make sure you're focusing on probability statistics and puzzles. Because being quick in that, showing that you're a quick learner and you have great analytical skills, that is something that sets you apart. So that is something you should focus on.
Thank you, Subhadra. Thank you, panelists, for your valuable insights. Our next question is, what are some of the must-prepare topics for finance? Subhadra, would you like to give an insight to this?
Sure. Some of the must prepare topics which I personally did was capital markets, money markets, some basic financial instruments and their derivatives, and some risk measures. So these are the major topics that I focused on. Apart from that, I also did guesstimates and puzzles, which was a part of degree specific preparation. So I think that's about it. Question.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, you need to have certain, for example, instruments. They have every interview which I have come across, they have a certain set of favorite topics. For example, fixed income instruments and equities. They derivative contracts are not much favorite. Depending on the profile you are appearing for, they may or may not ask you for it. But fixed income and equities are must. Apart from these, you can take up some moves. For example, just some financial ratios वाला जो course होता है. CFA होता है, Instagram, as well as there are Coursera moves which you can take. You can read a Gautam called series on finance is a great starting point, as well as Yale, Professor Schiller's Yale course on financial markets is also a great start. You can refer there and start building from there. Also, when you're preparing for it, make sure you have an interest for finance. Keeping up with the current affairs is a must. They will definitely ask you about current affairs. For example, where the level of interest rates are, where the level of indices are, and keeping up with the news and global happenings is also important.
Just adding to that, the news part, when I started initially personally, it was a bit daunting. So if you want, you can start reading FinShots, which is relatively easy to understand and definitely a good way to start off into the financial world. Moving from there, you can go on to reading newspapers and then also, as Kush said, taking up courses on Coursera. That's it.
Thank you, Tanya. Learning core finance. Kush, would you like to begin?
I think this comes back to my last point. First, figure out whether you have an interest in finance or not, and start keeping up with the news. As so like I said about FinShots, start reading that. Take up some notes, the Gautam course series and the CFA courses in our institute by doing so. As well as you can take access courses as well, for example, financial institution markets and market microstructure are great starting points. Once you have these in hand, then you can think about whether you want to explore it further. You can take up a project from ISPs, IIMs, as well as in our institute, we have a certain tendency towards IIMs and management schools. However, look beyond that. Try to go for the DU colleges because we have excellent professors who are working in this field and Like I said, these are target groups. Once you work with them, you understand what are the kind of things they are doing, and what are they expecting from their students. You can also pick up a couple of internships if possible. However, in finance, I would like to caution you about there's this thing. So I would like to agree that in finance there's no specific internship, and a lot of scams also happen. So you have to be wary of that.
Yeah, coming to the internship point, I think it's very important to focus on that. There are not a lot of finance internships out there which are actually dealing with core financial stuff and which will give you the right experience or exposure. So, choosing an internship very carefully is very important because you might end up wasting your time, which we definitely do not want because you have like 3-4 months left for preparation. So, getting an intern which is remotely related to finance also shows your inclination towards finance. So, coming to interview, like for personally for myself, in my interview, I think the major point that I told was that I was inclined towards finance. My resume was not completely based on core finance, but yes, it showed a story that from the very beginning I was trying to build a resume for finance. That is very important.
Exactly, like education is very important. And just one tip I would like to give about internship and financial security for off campus. So in the finance industry, people switch very often. Like the frequency is once every 2 years. So what you can do is you can open up any LinkedIn to किसी का job profile, and whenever you open a finance professional's profile, you will find they started. If you see, for example, a Goldman Sachs employee, a senior employee, there's a high chance he or she did not start at Goldman Sachs as a starting point. They started some very small boutique firm or some local firms. Try contacting these firms. These will offer you internships, and you will actually build up a network which, if it has helped them escalate to Goldman Sachs, for example, it might help you later on as well. Because these relevant places will give you a nice level of internship.
Thank you, panelists. I hope all this input has given our audience a clear roadmap to build a strong finance profile. Now, finance is a vast field, and a lot of students are confused as to which online platform or resource to use while preparing. So, could you please highlight some resources or online platforms that the students may use to prepare for this profile? Subhadra, would you like to begin?
Yeah, sure. So I think the resources are pretty common for the entire CPC internship preparation process. So you have your books like 50 Challenging Problems in Probability, Her on Street, which focus on probability and statistics part. You have a website called Brainsteller where you can access puzzles. For guesstimates, I use Guesstimates Compendium, and for financial news, I refer to FinShots. And apart from that, for basic finance knowledge, I did some courses from Corporate Finance Institute. But that is completely up to you. That was my preference because I felt that aligned with the course structure aligned with my interest. So that is completely on you. What sort of resource you refer to for getting access to financial basics?
Thank you, Subhadra. Kush, what is your take on this?
I think so that summed it up pretty well. Adding on to that, you can join Telegram groups. For example, there are several exams, for example, CA, FRM, and CFA. These are very active Telegram groups with a plethora of materials. You can refer these notes, and these notes will help you in preparing for finance topics in the last moment of interview. Like a day before interview, you can refer these notes, and these will help you because that's how I prepared for my interview.
Thank you, Kush. So the next question is, what are the prerequisites required for a finance profile? Could you also highlight some important components that make a good finance profile? Kush, would you like to begin?
So I think we've been reiterating this point again and again that you need to have an interest in finance, and even if there is no proper set rule for a good finance profile, you see people from zero finance background get into finance and people with hardcore finance as well get into it. It all boils down to what you can defend in your CV. If you put something, you should be able to be very concise with it and defend it. I from coming to my CV, when it comes to my CV, I did not have a lot of internships. I just had one internship, and I had some term projects. In that term projects, I was asked to remove a particular I was asked to remove a particular project because people felt it was not very relevant. However, throughout my 2 rounds at November, I was drilled specifically on that project. There is no set rule about it. However, what you can do is do your term projects very diligently, pick up some courses on finance, And overall, when you have an elevator pitch, you in the start of your interview, you're supposed to give an introduction, 2 minute introduction, where you walk them through your CV. You should be able to practice it and you should be able to deliver that flawlessly about why you are interested in finance and why you should be a good fit for finance.
Thank you, Kush. Subhadra, what is your take on this?
Yeah, so about that, I think we highlighted the essential skills. So pretty much they are the prerequisites. Apart from that, a very important point raised by Kushner, be very thorough with your resume. You should be able to defend it very well because they will grill you on one point till you're not able to answer anymore. So if you are unable to answer the very preliminary questions on your resume, that gives the impression that you probably did not work whatever you have written or you're just bluffing. So you don't want them to think that, right? So make sure you're very thorough with your resume and whatever you write, prepare it well, cross question yourself, ask your seniors to verify it, do mock interviews. That always helps to make sure that there are no points in your CV that you cannot defend.
Just adding on to that about the interview thing, when she mentioned cross question, during your interview, ask questions, ask a lot of questions because these questions show that what you're worth. For example, does anybody know what is sharp ratio? Sharp ratio, anyone? Okay, I'll take it, no one knows it. Cool, then I have to skip that question. So basically, just I'll give you just a sharp ratio is a measure which will tell whether an investment is better in terms of riskiness or not. If it gives a better return or not. So on a layman term, if I let's say I present you to two investment vehicles, one with a 0.75 and one with a 1.5, which one should you choose? 1.5, raise hands. How many would choose 1.5? And 0.75? Okay, and the rest of you won't choose anything. Why? Sorry, what?
It depends upon the investor whether he or she is risk averse.
Exactly. You have to ask the question, "Ki, what is the risk tolerance?" That is where I was asked a specific question, and the moment I asked the question, he closed the question. He said, "Okay, this was what we wanted to do." And you have to ask questions. That's why estimates come in handy because the approach how you ask estimates. The estimates have a particular approach of asking questions and forming the basis of your judgment. These practice estimates because that will come in handy when you are handling situation questions about investments and investment advices.
Thank you, Kush and Subhadra, for your insightful answer. Moving on. Many of us have just 4 months in hand. So, how does one prioritize between self projects, summer internships, or sole preparation? Kush, would you like to begin?
Okay, so right now you're in the middle of semester. Start searching for a summer intern and approach any professor in KGP. If you don't have a project already in your CV, approach the professor of HSS or BG and start doing any minor project because that will give you some insight about what you want to work upon if finance is the right fit for you. Now that you have gotten, now that let's say you got a project and start working on it, use that project as a bonus point in your CV and start sending out the CV for summer interns. Summer interns, make sure the summer interns should not overlap with CDC because that will be very hectic. And for a lot of people, the summer interns close around CDC time, let's say July or August. And in that time, the companies want full dedication. They will not let you off. In the middle of the summer intern, they might let you off for a week or so if you request, but at the ending period, nobody's going to let you off. So make sure your time is around that time. And and also why it is important because the last month of the CDC, the window, the summer window, you need to have it for full preparation. If you're not thoroughly prepared, you will fuck it up and it will mess your interview and your overall CDC process for the later interview as well.
Thank you, Kush. Subhadra, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, for me, what worked was like apart from my other commitments, which included an internship and a POI, I was able to reserve 1 or 2 hours every day. This I'm talking about 3 months before my actual interview. I was able to reserve like 1 or 2 hours every day for my self preparation, which is very essential to be very honest. That not only boosts your confidence but it also makes you feel prepared. It's very important that you feel prepared on the day of the interview. So if you are gradually working towards your goal, you need to strategize, set deadlines. Even if you're not able to meet them, it's fine, but you'll be able to make progress. Because a lot of time, what happens is that most of the people get so indulged in their projects or internships that they are hardly left with any time by the time the interviews come in. So make sure you are leaving like 1 or 2 hours every day, no matter how hard it is. Make it a habit, and by the end of the time when the interviews come in, you'll be very well prepared. I can assure you that.
Thank you, Subhadra. Moving on to the next question. What all are the elements that reflect a good finance profile CV? And what importance does the POR hold for a finance profile CV? Subhadra, would you like to begin?
Okay, so when we're talking about elements in a good finance CV, so there is no good CV according to me. I think every CV is unique, and how you present it and how you defend it in the interview is what matters. If we're talking specifically about finance, some basic inclination towards finance, probably an internship which is not even core finance but remotely related. If you are writing a core finance internship, then be prepared to be grilled thoroughly on that. Because and also if you're writing certifications such as CFA and FRM, you'll be asked questions in much more detail compared to your other competitors. So be prepared with that. And if you're talking about PORs in specific, from my personal experience, in 2 out of 3 rounds, interview rounds, I was asked a couple of questions from my POR. So I feel they do have certain impact where they showcase that you are keen on taking initiatives and you can handle stressful situations well. So I think they do play some role, but they are not like very essential. I think it's about how smart you are and how well prepared you are. That's what makes a lasting impression.
Thank you, Subhadra. Kush, what is your take on this?
I think for me, PO hasn't played much role for because Nomura doesn't. We had a stress testing round, right? But Nomura didn't have that, and it was a pure finance interview based only on. They have a series shortlisting role. So I'll read you about the Nomura process. Basically, they have a shortlisting round. After that, they invite for GDs, and then they have two rounds of interview. It may vary from year to year, where they will have a group interview as well as a preliminary. However, the GD and the 2 rounds are compulsory because the POR will only handle probably in this series shortlisting part and the interview part, it's not going to help you for normal. And for certifications where there's a list that you can write certifications even if you're not qualified. You can write a candidate. It's a very valid thing to do. However, you should be able to defend it because in my case, when I was writing my FR in level one, my exams were postponed to November. While I was preparing for my main exams. So when I appeared for my internship round in July, they were very considerate and they said, because you're a candidate, we do not expect you to know everything. Tell us what you know. And I was able to, and I told what the officer is comfortable with, and I was able to defend it. However, this might not work every time. If you're not prepared thoroughly, it will be a disappointment. It will lead to a larger disappointment because you're writing a very recognizable name in your CV. So write it only if you can defend your topics. Coming to projects, you can have projects, at least one project for finance, which is a very basic, try to, and when you're writing a CV, try to include some basic finance terms. Because it is highly possible that the project you have done, it may your panelists may not have expertise in that area. It is very likely. I did one very ambitious project just before CBC. It was a very high-level project, but the thing is, my panelists didn't even ask me about that. Some project, the term project I mentioned earlier, it was a very basic project. They understood most of it and they grilled me continuously upon it. And the interview round may shuttle from CV to theory. For example, they start with a point on a CV, they'll get into the theoretical aspect around it, and then they'll shuttle between the CV and how you apply it. So defending a CV is very important, whatever you write. Just like Swata said, there is no perfect CV. Each CV is unique, and you just have to defend whatever you get. And projects and interns might help you. It will basically you need to have a conversation with the panelists. Every project or CV point that you write, you should be able to create a conversation out of that CV point. That's it.
I think I'll just take you guys through the DB process as well. So for DB, I think you apply your through EIP, your resumes and your candidature. They send you a personality and fit test. After clearing that, they do a resume-based shortlisting. They release the shortlist, and on the final day, they conduct 3 rounds of interviews. So that's more or less the process. The last round of interviews with the directors. So they are the final decision makers.
Thank you, Candice. So, moving on to the next question. Many students have the confusion of doing finance while preparing for the analytics profile. So, does the preparation of finance and analytics go hand in hand? Kush, would you like to begin?
My focus was finance as well as analytics. So when you're talking about finance and analytics, what is common between them is that you need to do probability and statistics, you need to be thorough in puzzles and estimates. These are the common things. What sets finance apart from the analyst role is that they require some basic financial acumen and knowledge. I did that. So my finance background was not very strong. I was thorough with the basic financial things like accounting fundamentals, the markets, the derivatives, and all. But when it comes to analytics part, I think the focus is more on coding and Python was something that I had worked on in the past, and that's why I was targeting it. I did not do any specific preparation as such for analytics.
I think in my case, I played a very big gamble because I would not advise anybody else to do it. I prepared for pure finance and I don't code. I go on record to say I don't code, I do not do. I do very basic level coding when it comes to simulation and R. My basic language, my main language is R, and that's what I specialize in. So for me, the analytics exposure is very limited. My major focus is on pure financing, the core economic aspect of it. So you need to have a certain element of analytics because even in the work that have been assigned to, the team I have been assigned to, it basically deals with simulation and restructuring. So I will eventually have to have some analytics background. It is preferred if you have analytics, but it's not a must. And the only comment on like Subhadra said is only the maths part.
Thank you, panelists. Now coming to the most confusing and doubtful question, how one can differentiate between finance and quant preparation? So, Badra, what are your opinions on this?
I think the major difference between preparing for these two profiles is that in quant you require a certain set of strong computer coding skills basically. So data structures and algorithms is something that you need to be thorough with if you're preparing for quant, which I did not personally because I am not interested in that field. But yeah, if you're setting it apart, then I think the additional part in the quantitative side is that you need to be thorough with the coding aspect as well.
Thank you, Subhadra. Kush, would you like to add on to this?
It's like that. For example, the understand the work that when we say finance and quant, these profiles, the basic difference is that there are two kind of teams in our industry, in firm basically. Like I said, the core finance guys, the DO guys, they don't know how to code. All they can do is strategize and figure out the kind of products people want and what the client needs. This kind of information is passed to the quant and the quant teams does all the back-end calculation that is involved. So when you go for quant, assume that it is like any other software job and you will be very on very high level of maths. You need to have you need to be very fast with calculations as well as your concepts of data structures and algorithms need to be very strong. In Nomura also came for a quant role, and in Nomura's quant role, there was not an ounce of finance that was asked. It was purely data structure and algorithm. It was very rigorous. So you need to have a strong hand in that. While for pure finance, you can whatever we mentioned before stays valid.
Thank you, Kush. So the audience sitting here might be having many doubts. So let us begin with the Q&A session. So audience, feel free to ask your questions and do not hesitate to get your doubts clarified.
Audience, please feel free to ask your queries.
How big of a role do research projects play in your CV?
Like I had two research projects in my resume, one from IIM Ahmedabad and one from ISB. So both were B schools, but the work I did was not even remotely related to like core finance. It was a lot of analytics stuff that I did, and I was grilled on one of the projects a lot because it was related to the blockchain and cryptocurrency. So, see, that is how your interview rolls, right? They do not expect a lot of finance from you, but if you have done a project which is slightly inclined towards it, they are definitely going to grill you on that. So make sure you're doing like proper research on whatever topic you have worked on, and when you're preparing, make sure you're covering all the aspects which are related to it as well, financially.
And are core economics projects helpful?
Yeah, so basically my CV did not have any research project, I had interns, and all my projects were my term projects which I had taken up as part of my economics courses. So they questioned me upon that as well. It's just how you defend it and how you present it.
How can we add trading in our CV if you trade in stock market? How can we add trading, stock trading in our CV?
I think you have to basically add about the portfolio metrics. Basically, for example, let's say you start with a capital of 1K, you raise it up to 1.115K as well. And over the period of years, if it's over a 2 month horizon, you can frame it in such a way that manage the portfolio of active stocks in this segment, let's say active segment, and obtain the return of business. It's basically in one or two lines, not much. You can write it as a self project.
Yeah, I think you said.
Would anyone else like to any other question? Yeah.
Yeah, what level of competitive coding should we actually do if we are pursuing either quant or finance?
See, for finance, personally, I don't think I did any coding at all. I had a decent background in Python, which I learned through my projects. But coming to competitive coding, I don't think I'll be the best person to guide you on that. But there are a lot of seniors out there who have worked on CP, and there are a lot of platforms which are actually helping you prepare for interviews like Albus and it's a lot. So I think you should research a bit on that area.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else want to ask anything? Okay, so moving on to the next stage, they have also collected some frequently asked questions from the student community to the form that we circulated. So moving on to those questions. So the first question is, does having some knowledge of programming and analytics give us an edge over others?
Yeah, I think we've covered it. It does not give you an edge. It is just something that you have done and you have to defend in the interview process. So, depending upon your resume and how well you're able to defend it, I think that pretty much sums it up. Like it does not give you an edge as such.
So the next question is, once a student is planning to go for finance profile, what kind of a job role is the intern expected to be?
Honestly, that depends on the bank you're going for and the team you're assigned to. Because a bank has a lot of teams, and depending on the process, on the part of transaction where you're in, your role may vary. For example, let's say a simple deal as such as a trade transaction. Let's say there's a bond selling transaction. Depending if you're part of the credit structuring team, you'll be part of the instrumentation team. If you're part of the sales and trading team, you will face the client and preparing reports. And if you're part of the backing team, you might just do the back calculations and all that. So it varies from team to team. The company, it's just the company's discretion where they put you.
So the next question is, at present time, a lot of have been enrolling ourselves in several online courses. So are any of those courses worth writing in a resume?
I think a lot of us do mention those courses because when your resume is being shortlisted, they use it through an algorithm. And when you're using financial jargons, I think you have a higher probability of getting shortlisted. So writing courses is definitely not a negative. It's not a huge plus also, but definitely you can mention it as Kush said as a home spring.
Yeah, and it will basically be helpful in many questions, for example, in your elevator pitch which you're doing, elevator introduction which you're doing in the starting of the interview. You can mention that you've had notes which will indicate you have an interest in finance. That will be part of the story that you're going to present. That's the only flex point you'll add.
Thank you, panelists. Now that we are coming close to the conclusion of the event, we would like to ask the panelists for a words of advice to the CDC Janta and any other points they think the discussion couldn't cover. This would be a great help to the audience present here today. Can we start with you, Kush?
Firstly, I would like to say that this one thing we forgot to mention that whenever you're preparing for finance, the numbers are very low. They are skewed against you. The number of companies that come are very low, and the applicant base is very high. So whenever you're preparing for finance, have a backup option ready. You might have analytics. Consult is related, but consult is usually the plan A. It's never a plan B. It's a very hectic process. It's a very hectic profile, and you would not want to keep consult as a profile B. Keep analytics, keep FMCG, or try to look for off-campus interns because the number in CBC is very less. Secondly, there could not be a department bias, but there is no affinity for FP students to the higher industry. Because for many departments, like no offense, even for AG or MP, for many companies do not open. But if you have an FP written FP code, if you're in the financial engineering discipline, you might have access to a lot of companies than you would normally get. And coming on the CV front, a CG around 8 should be sufficient to sail you through CBC. For finance profiles, they do not stress on high CGPAs, but a comfortable CGPA reflects that you have done the work diligently. That's the only benefit that CGPA has.
So, Madhura, would you like to add on to this?
Yeah, so I think he's covered most of it that we should be focusing on. Apart from that, I think a very important factor is that during the interview, there was a stress around it during the Deutsche Bank process. So make sure that you're not sidewise and you're very confident throughout the interview process. If you've prepared well, then be confident about it. No matter the outcome, you'll get in somewhere. You have your backup options. You will have plenty of opportunities. Don't be disheartened by what the outcomes are. Just keep on preparing and just keep on rolling.
One more point to add. Would you like to give any last minute tips for the whole CDC process? Kush, would you like to take this?
Also, just one thing while you're adding on to it, I would like to just tell you that the day X wala myth, just get out of it. Don't let yourself get psyched out of it if your friends are getting in day one, day two. It's just a number, like it won't matter. It's basically क्या होता है ना बस वो जल्दी से माथा खत्म होता है, माथा का स्ट्रेस खत्म होता है. Apart from that, it's nothing. There are many companies like ANZ, Credit Suisse, Prime Services. It used to come after 1 month of CEC. And these are very good profiles. Some good companies come in phase two as well. So if you don't score something in day one or day two, there's no harm in that. There are a lot of off-campus opportunities and a lot of learning opportunities out there. There are a lot of finance startups right now. The opportunity is very high. So don't just rely on CBC and don't let it get to your head throughout the process.
Also, I think one point we did not cover is HR questions. They are essential for any interview process. So during the last minute, those are the type of questions that you should be visiting instead of stressing yourself on core finance preparation and other things. So focus on HR questions, prepare them beforehand. But during the last minute, I think I would suggest personally that you focus on the HR questions. Try to build a story behind your application. Make sure you have a very solid reason why finance is the go-to field for you and how you are suited for finance. Make sure you have instances where which justify basically how you have great analytical skills, how you're logical, how you have handled stressful situations, because those are the things which are essential skills for making an impact on the financial industry and being a part of it.
That was really helpful and enlightening. Now, as we come to the end of today's panel discussion, we would like to thank our panelists, Kush and Subhadra, for sharing their experience and giving us their valuable advice. They have shared with us some really amazing funny and important tips to ace the upcoming CDC internships. We would also like to thank them for giving us their precious time and guiding us through this discussion. It was an honor having you on our panel today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
for having us here.
Before concluding our event, one last question that has come from our YouTube audience. Like, what are the steps to get into quant? Can you get some tips to the audience present here?
So quant is a very large umbrella term. There are quantitative traders, there are quantitative modeling people, and each requires a different subset. However, as CDC process as a common entrance point of CP, and in a lot of companies, the CP round is a must. You need to have CP, you need to have a good amount of ML, and like I mentioned, you must be very good with numbers. Finance, even if you don't know finance, you can just model it as a simulation, but you need to be very good with your math skills. So, pick up some math, also some courses that you can pick up for quant, stochastic processes in finance, stochastic process normal one, RDSM, as well as some econometrics courses that you can pick up. Have get your DSA in line, and if you have some contest, for example, ICPC or Google XR, that might add to your plus point as a it basically serves as a metric of your competitiveness when it comes to coding. So you can try that as well.
With this, we would also like to thank our audience for helping us make this discussion successful. You all have been really engaging and active. Thank you for your time and attention. With this, we conclude our 3-day internship year event. We hope you all might have learned a lot and got proper roadmaps and proper strategies for the upcoming CDC internships. Best of luck, people. Have a nice evening. You are free to disperse now. Thank you.
एक मिनट